That was not what I wanted. That.
Are you ready for cocktails and conversation? This is Herspiration Happy Hour.
Happy Wednesday and welcome to another episode of Herspiration Happy Hour Season 3. I think this is episode 20. I'm almost certain. I know this is episode 20 for season 5, and this is our second to the last show that we will have up until the August after next week. This is your unapologetic diva, Dr. G.
This is Cortina Peters, aka the girlfriend therapist.
And this is Louisa, aka the Blue Phoenix. How are you, lady?
I'm amazing. Okay, I'm amazing, and I'm tired. First of all, I'm super tired because I've been up since like 4. I call myself trying to take a nap because I had a 5:20 flight out this morning to Atlanta.
Oh, good grief.
And I got up at 4:30. Yeah, I know that sounds kind of crazy when I had a 5:20 boarding. But I woke up about 3:30 and I couldn't go back to sleep, and I kind of dozed off and on. But yeah, I got up about 4 o'clock finally, and here I am still making it. So, but my week so far has been really good, tiring but good. What about you? What about you all?
I don't feel well.
You sound like, I know you sound. You sound like you're in pain.
Yeah, it was a struggle this morning to get up and get moving. So, yeah.
When are you going to rest?
I don't know. I have to submit my proposal by the 1st. So that might be it. I don't know if it's stress. I just know I don't feel good. Like I feel very fatigued and exhausted. So yeah, just in the process of doing literature reviews, trying to gather all the information for my proposal. So
yeah, I remember those days. I cannot ever go back to those. So what are we sipping on today, Louisa?
We're sipping on a cocktail called Oaks Lily Cocktail. It's 3 parts cranberry juice, 1 part sour mix or fresh lime juice, a 4th triple sec, and a 1 part vodka. You combine everything over ice, and then you garnish with a lime wedge. It's so simple.
It sounds good. It sounds good. Sounds good. So, ladies, this is the first time that we've got to be together with no guests. We do have a special co-host today with us. I know.
Well, hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, ladies.
hi.
So we have here Nico Too Good, the curator.
Of course, it's Nico.
Black Authors Matter Tour. I'm over here kicking it in Atlanta. Not really kicking it because I had to work. Today I spent time. The goal was to venue hop, first of all, but I didn't have to do that because my first place that I went to fit the bill. So I'm like, yay, I have a location for my kids' red carpets. That's why I'm like, cheers to this, despite being tired. And then tomorrow I'm here. I really flew here because I am doing press for the Black Music Honors. So I'm doing red carpet press. So that's the real reason why I'm here. So it's a quick trip, but you got to have fun wherever you go. So I'm going to do that. But it's Wednesday, and every Wednesday we shout out women who are making a difference, doing a damn thing, and just all around amazing for our WCWs. Do you ladies have your WCWs for this week?
I do.
Okay, let's roll with it.
So I want to shout out all of the sex therapists and sex educators and anyone in the sex and sexuality field who is making a difference in the lives of Black individuals. That's dispelling these myths that we have when it comes to like our ideations around sex and sexuality and what that looks like and what that can feel like and what the whole experience is. So you have Dr. Lex, you have Renee Brunwell, you have Shamira, you have like all of these amazing, you have Chastity Chandler, you have like all of these amazing Black sex therapists that I want to highlight today.
Awesome. Does that include people who are having sex?
No. Well, I hope you're having
Oh,
sex.
darn.
Everybody is having sex and having not just sex, but pleasurable sex as well, because pleasure is the measure. It doesn't matter if you orgasm, that's not really important if it's not pleasurable. So we want to make sure that everyone is having pleasurable sex, because it is uh, possible to be fulfilled and pleased without orgasming. So,
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that then.
yeah,
No, because most people think that you have to have an orgasm
you do not.
in order to, be fulfilled sexually. So this is kind of good to hear. We're gonna come back on that one.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Louisa, do you have a WCW for today?
Yes, we have Miss Wangari Maathai. She was a Kenyan environmental activist who founded Green Belt Movement. That was a campaign for planting trees, environmental conversation, and women's rights. She also was the first woman in East and Central Africa to earn a doctorate degree. That's cool. She was also elected to Parliament and appointed to Assistant Minister for Environment and Natural Services. And she was also the first African woman to receive the Nobel Peace Prize for her contribution to sustainable development, peace, and democracy.
Oh wow. Okay, okay. That's so dope to hear. All this, black girl magic that's going on here. So for me, I'm actually going to shout out the authors that was on the children's book authors that participated in my book tour. To Kenya Johnson, Ashley Smith, Arletha Orr, Dawn Charleston Green. When I say that these ladies came, showed up, showed out, it was an absolute beautiful event. It was beautiful. Yeah, he surprised me. He popped up unexpectedly. But yeah, so I mean, and I have to tell you something. To Kenya Johnson, when I say she read, she read. That was probably the most interactive read I have ever seen. That was absolutely beautiful. I mean, just had all the kids interacted. She had these props that was just beautiful, and her spirit was beautiful too. So when I say like, I'm hoping that she joins on another one of my book tours, because y'all are not going to want to miss her at all. I
That's
mean,
awesome.
all the ladies did an amazing job, but with all of the props and everything that she had, and how interactive that she was have teaching children about self-love and being a light and all of those things, just it was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So I'm shouting out those four ladies to be my WCW today. All right, so let's kick off this conversation. I'm gonna roll back to this whole sex thing before we have a few things that we want to cover, because you know what, we've not had a chance or opportunity to really have our own discussions at all this year in 2022.
Yeah.
And
Oh, wow.
I know, and I can't guarantee that next week we won't have a guest because somebody's already reached out to book. So we never know, but let's go back to Cortina, this sex and no orgasm thing. What in the world?
So basically, the premise is, if I'm so focused on performance and having an orgasm, I'm not focused on the pleasure of even getting there, right? Because it's like, oh my God, if I didn't have an orgasm, it wasn't a pleasurable experience, when that's not the end goal, right? We want to continue to do things that feel good, and it is possible to have a very pleasurable experience without feeling like, oh, I didn't have an orgasm, so it was a waste, right? So
I agree.
if you take out, it's almost like I'm chasing something, right? So even if it's subconscious in your mind, like, oh my God, great sex equates to orgasm. If I take that mindset out of it, I'm going to be able to be in the here and now and be able to experience the pleasure that's being created from this experience with my partner or someone who I am with. And so you have to take the weight off of trying to, like, this is what I want to have happen. I want to have an orgasm. And then possibly, if you take the heaviness or the weight off of trying to achieve or obtain the orgasm, Then, if you are allowing your mind to fully experience the experience that you are having, then you might actually have an even greater orgasm before than when you was trying to say, okay, I want to make sure that I orgasm, or it wasn't a great pleasurable experience. So that's
Doesn't that dispel kind of what we've been taught? I mean, even with is that what tantric sex is being able to enjoy sex without, I don't know.
so tantra is more of a spiritual connection, right? You're soul gazing. You are connecting energies. That is more close proximity than just the act of having sex. So it's more of connecting with the partner who you are with, right? We are in the here and the now. So tantric sex is not about an orgasm either, right? So a lot of times we have been taught, and this is what I see in my office a lot, right? So it's like, oh, you got to do it this way. You have to look like this. We have all of these ideas and scripts that are fed to us about what sex should feel like, what it should look like, what it should smell like, what it should taste like, all of these things. And if you have all of these rules going around in your mind, how in the world do you ever break away from that and have your own sense of, oh, okay, no one ever told me I can't enjoy this, but I do enjoy this. And so being able to break away from what has been spoon fed to you and creating your own sense of, this is what I enjoy. This is what I like. It doesn't have to look like that. I don't have to be swinging from the chandelier in order for it to be amazing sex.
Okay.
Because some people, even with size, does size matter? To be completely honest, no, it doesn't. It doesn't really matter, right? Because it's like, if I already have in my mind, if you not 9 inches, sex is horrible. If you get with somebody who not 9 inches, guess what? You've already, 50% of your mind has already said this is going to be an unpleasurable experience. Right? So you're behind the 8 ball. You're not going to be able to experience the pleasure because your mind is not going to be focused on the act. It's going to be focused on the size, right? And that comes out in how we engage with people. So now the energy that's in the room that you're putting out to the other person may stifle the confidence. And then we also have this thing that I see in my office, performance anxiety, right? Because we have all of these ideas that are in our mind that sometimes, because I'm trying to be like, okay, I gotta be like this, gotta be like this, gotta be like this. Some men, they can't even get on hard, right? They can't even get in the erection because it's so many different. Well, we've been chatting on the phone and they are expecting this and I can't necessarily produce this, and I'm having anxiety, and the person may not even be aware that I'm experiencing anxiety because I can hide it well, but I'm not able to get an erection. I'm not able to properly vaginally lubricate, because my mind, I'm anxious and my body is not responding to the anxiety that I am experiencing, which causes people to not have pleasurable experiences, right? It's like it didn't fit, it was awkward, it didn't feel right. Okay, if we stop trying to be performative, because it's not about the performance, it's about pleasure. Figure out what brings you pleasure. Because if you're focusing on the act, you're not in the here and now.
But what if penis size is a part of that bringing pleasure?
How would you know?
That's mentality.
That
is very much a mentality.
I have been, okay, so in past relationships, well, I've had that many, but in a past relationship, I was all in, it was great, and then it wasn't. Wasn't a mental thing because I was all there connected.
Something changed then, because it couldn't have been all great.
I couldn't feel them.
But it couldn't have. There's no way that it could have been all great and then it wasn't. Something shifted.
It was all great before
the thing.
Inserts.
Because you got to look at this.
But you saw it in your mind went.
In your mind, if you're saying,
I didn't see it.
No. In your mind, if you're saying,
it was just movement. No, what I'm saying is it was just movement and. Just
what
move.
I'm saying. So I ain't talking about if you got a micro penis. No, I ain't talking about that. Like I ain't talking about micro. Wait, we need like I'm not sure if this is an enlarged clitoris.
That is not a word.
It is. Like I'm not sure if it's a enlarged clitoris or a micro penis. Like I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about regular, like on average.
Okay, yeah, no.
Dollar size 4 inches or what have you, right? So
Okay.
the thing is, I've had large penises that did absolutely nothing for me. So if we're only solely basing it on penis size, that with that mindset, that would equate to large penis, great sex. That's a fallacy because it's not true across the board. So that's why I say penis size really doesn't matter, because you can't say just because you have a big penis, you know what you're doing. False.
Now I agree with that.
So do you believe that
so it has to be able to go the other way as well? Just because you have a smaller one, that doesn't mean I can't pleasure you, because you got to think about it this way. Sex is not just intercourse.
That's
so
correct.
if we are saying in order for me, you have to have a big penis, you can have sex without even having a penis present.
Oh yeah.
So we have intercourse, right? You can still orgasm from that. So
I don't want to be in a, I could never, I guess my issue, and I think it's where what you call the micro penis. If I feel like I'm having sex with myself and I'm supposed to be having sex with a partner, then I don't want it.
Different scenarios changes people's minds, right? Because let's just say you had someone, and this is extreme, but someone who was paralyzed. Are we now saying that this person can never experience or have a pleasurable experience, or my relationship is going to be dead because my partner cannot perform the way that they used to once be able to perform? So one of the things that you do, now we have to just open our toolbox. Now we have to really get to learn the likes and dislikes and the exciters and the inhibitors of what turns each other on. And so sometimes when you have situations like that, it pushes people outside of the comfort zone and outside of the box. Right? So sex as usual. Okay, in the bed, in the shower, in the car, in the park, wherever, right?
In the park.
Yes, in the park.
So if something happens where it pushes us,
he said that's why you moved to Winter Park, Florida.
No. So if that pushes me past my comfort zone, now it has opened us up to a whole new world. And so that's why part of my study and the assessment that I'm creating is because oftentimes couples do not talk about, or polycules or triads. It doesn't matter what type of relationship dynamic you're in. A lot of times,
polycule?
A relationship.
More than four people.
Okay.
Polycule thruples, 3 people in a equal relationship. We all have the same.
Okay.
So
it's very big now. The whole poly thing is a really big conversation amongst Black people as of late.
It's becoming more popular and more, I don't want to say accepted, because it's still very taboo-ish, because I get into this conversation a lot of times with a lot of people, especially when they start talking about the Will and Jody situation and all these other situations. I said, no, you cannot say she cheated on him. You cannot say that if that was an agreement that they had in their relationship. Now you can be solo poly, which means I am okay with my partner loving other individuals, but that might not be something that I'm open to. So that means that my partner is a sole poly individual within our relationship, which is cool. Now, when you enter into the world of polyamorous type of relationships, there's a lot of different rules, right? You have to be ethical in how you're doing this. That means we are communicating, we are having a conversation. And polyamory is like, so you have consensual non-monogamy, right? So that's like the umbrella. And then you have all of these other different types of relationships under there. So you have swingers under there. You have polyamory under there. You have open relationships under there. Because just because you have an open relationship, that doesn't mean that you're poly. Open relationships, we're having sex. Polyamory means poly, multiple, love. So polyamory, that means I can love and have an equally yoked relationship with other individuals, right?
Can I interject
Mm-hmm.
on that side with the having an open relationship but it not being poly, and make sure your communication guys are clear, because someone who I was dating that you all know very well, we had an open relationship, but it becomes cheating when you turn that into a solo poly moment for yourself, because that wasn't ever our conversation of you being able to date other people.
Yes. So that is so you want to make sure you have ethical non-monogamy. That means that we both understand the rules that we create for our relationship. And so a lot of times people on the outside don't necessarily understand all that goes into it. And so someone may see, let's just take Will and Jada, right? Everybody know them. Oh, she was cheating on him anyway, blah, blah, blah. Now she did this. And I'm always telling people, like, you don't know, right? You don't know. He has always said she did not cheat on me. If any, and he will always say she did not cheat on me, right? If that was their arrangement, and he was okay with her bringing or having an outside boyfriend, it's not cheating. But there are some people that just can't get it past their mind. Just because you view it as cheating in your mind, that doesn't mean that everybody else does. And so, like, breaking that barrier, and like, sometimes I don't even say nothing because I'm like, I don't have the energy to explain to these people. Let these people believe what the hell they want to believe. I don't care. But it's almost like educating people, because you got to understand, in our community, that's like a very taboo subject. Now, you may have known Granddaddy had a whole nother family down the street, but guess what? You ain't talk about it. You ain't say it. So it's a lot of these old school grandmas, they were in poly relationships themselves, but they just don't admit it, right? Because Granddaddy got this family over here. He was taking care of Miss Annabelle down the street. You know, they say that's my cousin, but I don't really know, or my brother, or my sibling, or what have you. But it kind of was like a secret. Don't ask, don't tell. He pay all the bills. I'm not asking any questions, right? Mm-hmm. It might not necessarily be poly, but it might be solo poly. Maybe Granddad was solo polyamory because he loved the community, or maybe it was an extended
community people.
I'm just saying, maybe it was an extended open relationship. But in addition to everything else that I'm doing, it's about creating this sense of reclaiming your pleasure, your ability to experience pleasure without having limits on it, without looking at, okay, what are the narratives or the scripts that I've been given, that I've been told, that equates to amazing sex or mind-blowing sex, right? Have I tried this different thing? Oh, going back to the assessment that I'm creating, because let's just say you would be okay with pegging, and your partner would be like, I mean, I ain't never thought about it, but I might be open to it. So pegging is when one partner, well, mostly a female, puts on a strap-on and penetrates the male, right? Okay, so let's just say that's a conversation we've never even talked about. Well, on the assessment that I'm creating, based on how you score, we would be able to see all of the sexual behaviors that both parties are open to, closed to, and neutral to. So we work on and we talk about and discuss the closed tos, like why might that be? No right or wrong, but just so that you can, give a little bit of insight of why you might be closed to it. Because if we can work through maybe the barrier that causes you to be closed to it, then maybe you might get past it. You might be like, oh, okay, maybe I'm not closed to it. Maybe I'm just neutral, because now I've done a little bit more digging or what have you. Or those things that you're open to, we want to do more of that. because it might be things that we're open to that we never even talked about that we would be willing to try. But because we never talked about it, or because sex is something that we just do at nighttime, and we do like a little bit of kinky stuff, but we don't really do like, we don't really talk about it. We don't even know, because of the shame that's so often attached to the discussion of sex. And I'm not just talking about, oh, okay, stick it in. Like, I ain't talking about regular sex talk. I'm talking about over dinner. Okay, we're going to be talking about these things that we're into without feeling ashamed or out of place. Or, you know what? I really would like for us to try this. Oh, okay. And again, I'm not talking about this vanilla type of sex. I'm talking about really having a conversation about how far in certain areas are we willing to go, right? What are our absolute like hell knows, and what are our like okays, right? Because at one point in my life, I used to be like, oh hell no, I can't, I would never allow my partner to have sex with somebody else, right? And I know that like where I am now, like I'm in a totally different space. Like it's not that I don't care, but I probably would say, you know what? I think I would give you, like, allow you to do that. Do I want to be in a poly relationship? No. Do I want to have a threesome? No. Do I want to do any of those things? No. But in my mind, I think I might probably watch. I would not be opposed to that. And so like my partner is totally against it. He was like, that's weird. No. But you see how your templates and your sexual scripts can change over the span of your sexual life. And so I think it's always good for people to review where they are sexually, because you might not be where you were 5 years ago. You might not be where you were a year ago. Different things happen that cause you to maybe have conversations that spark interest, and then you start looking into it, and then you're like, oh shit, okay, yeah, this might be cool, you know? And so now guess what? The sexual template that you had has now been expanded. And so that's why I think it's so important to get past this. It has to be like this, gotta look like this, gotta smell like this, gotta taste like this. Like we gotta push past that, or we will stay in a sexual box when there's a whole world of sexual experiences out there that we just might be fearful of trying. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Look, you're
Oh, it's wonderful.
Tina, you also open a door for acceptance with that. That is very big. And so, as someone who is in the LGBT community, yeah, I know I'm gay. Sorry, I didn't know. You know, a lot of times men like certain things, they go and they do certain things, but it's really because the women that they have been with do not accept or allow certain things. So they go to a place and they're not necessarily gay, because gay is more than just sex. Homosexual is more than just sex. They go that way to get that pleasure. Again, they feel dirty and misused and abused after, but they're addicted to that feeling. But if they were to find people who are more open and have very in-depth sexual conversations, you would see men and some women do things a lot differently and not be DL or running to the trans community for certain feelings that they can't get because their women will not allow. Cisgender women won't do certain things or feel that that's beneath them to do.
So what happens is oftentimes, and it's more often than not, it's the man that's demonized because of different sexual acts that they would like to partake in. This is what I say: a sexual act has no orientation, right? So just because a man likes anal sex, that doesn't mean that he is gay.
I mean, the prostate is back
about-
there. Wow, it's a good feeling that
It's
people just
about-
don't understand.
It's about who you're doing it with, not what you're doing that constitutes, you know, whether what your sexual orientation is, right? And not even that, right? Because there's a whole community of individuals that say, I'm a straight man who enjoys having sex with men. They do not consider themselves to be gay. So I can't put a label on anybody, right? And so I think one of the reasons why that happens so frequently in the Black community specifically, and we have this whole thing about down low men, is because of the AIDS epidemic, and the negative connotation that was associated with that. However, if partners felt that they could honestly and openly have these conversations about possible sexual acts or behaviors that they would want to be a part of without being like, oh, you a F, the derogatory term for gay, or you're, oh my God, how would you want that? Now you want to be with a man? It's like, okay, I should never open my mouth. So if I've seen people be berated like that, now they have all of these, what do you call those things? What are those things called? Rumors out there about them, because I'm thinking I'm coming to a trusted person about different sexual acts that I enjoy. And I'm coming to you because I would like to do it with you. But now it's like, oh my God, you have just stifled my ability to be open with you about sexual acts that I would like to do. And what I do, I go into my shell, and then I find a safe place for me to be able to explore that part, right? And then when you find out, now you're pissed off at the man because, he is looking for it somewhere else. And again, I'm not giving him an excuse or anything like that, but just saying that if we could open up honest and open lines of communication about what we are into and what we like without feeling shamed, without feeling stigmatized, I think we can move a lot more forward, because I would challenge women to figure out, okay, well, why are you so opposed to it? Is it fear-based? Because I don't want to get HIV. Like, where is it coming from? The fact that if my partner has sex with a man I do not want to be with, that's not someone that I would want to be with. Yet you would be okay with them cheating on you 500 times with 500 different women and possibly getting a disease that way, right? So, and again, there is no right or wrong about whatever you decide that you want to have in your life. That's a personal decision that you make. But I would suggest and encourage everyone to just go beyond the surface to figure out, if my partner did come to me with something that I was uncomfortable with, have I taken the time to figure out, why am I even uncomfortable with this?
Yeah. So let me change gears a little bit. Same topic, but let me change gears a little bit. Why is it that, and this is just my perception, why is it that men are immediately demasculated as soon as if they have any interest in anything that remotely seems homosexual, but women are not?
Because you have to look at it like, the song I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It?
Yeah.
It was popular. It's like, that's what girls do. They get naked in front of each other too. They go have sleepovers and they're hugging and kissing all on each other. Well, that's just what girls do, because it's more socially accepted than what men do. And what happens is, it's that masculinity versus femininity. Oh, you too soft. Oh, we in the locker room. I got to go hide myself. Like, that's my boy, right? We ain't having no sleepover. We ain't doing all of this. Yeah. So it's definitely a gender role type of thing, where it's what's permissible and what's not, what's accepted and what's not, what's tolerated and what's allowed and what's not. And so when you cross those lines, and it's kind of like, you're not supposed to do that. No,
over here.
But something unacceptable, like a good sexual act that women once thought I would never do, that is eating booty like groceries. Women used to, oh no, but now in today's world, more women are doing it.
You also have to look at sexual acts in the Black community. Our white counterparts have been light years ahead of us, right? Because when I was in school, oh no, if you wanted oral sex, you went to a white girl, because Black girls, we was not doing that, okay? And so it's like, you're gonna get you a white girl. You ain't gonna have but that was the thing. It was like, oh, okay, they must be doing that. Now everybody doing it, so it's not like, and so you see how trends shift and they change. That happens with acceptance of a particular act, right? Remember, it only used to be okay. People used to just do missionary style. That's it. That's what they was in the 50s. That's what they doing. Okay, we procreating and that's it, right? Now, we got all types of stuff. We doing everything, And so as time goes on and as we continue to have these open conversations, and one of the things that people was trying to get me to do was something that I did back in 2014. I did a sex series symposium. And so we were talking about sexual acts and what does this mean and why am I afraid to do this? And it was like a whole panel that I put together of people in different types of relationships. I had divorced, I had dating, I had married, I had engaged, I had trans, I had bi, I had lesbian, I had like everything that you could, everybody was represented on the panel, right? And so if you had questions, it was a conversation in a open forum type style. So you had the panel having this discussion with the audience, you know, like engagement as well, like coming up like, oh, okay, well, and then we also had an anonymous question box. So if you kind of had like a little question, but you didn't want people to know it was you, and we already had pre-questions in there. So like, it's not just one question in the box. Well, I saw that lady with the red hair. She put her question in, so that must be her question. No. And it was very anonymous, and it was such a great conversation where I think if that forum wasn't necessarily set up in the educational but kinky kind of way, some of the people probably would have never gotten these questions asked, because where the hell you gonna go?
Yeah, true.
Like, if my girlfriend, if she judgmental, you think I'm finna tell her what I think I might want to be into?
Mhm.
And have her like, girl, you crazy. You been hanging with them white people too long. No, you can like, no, like, we have to be able, and I would say, don't do anything that you feel jeopardizes your own personal integrity.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But if you want to try it, do it. What's stopping you? Be able to be your sexual liberated self. And sexual liberation does not always have to end in orgasm.
Okay, she said that. All right. So
I was the special guest.
I know you look there. First of all, you always can tell when Cortina gets passionate about things. You just be like, look here, let me tell you, this is what it is. First of all, I will say that I'm super interested in, you know, being one of those that can beta test your assessment. Only because I don't know what's on it, and I do know me, but just being able to get to know my partner differently. It's not that we don't talk and can't talk about everything, but you just never know what's off the table, what's on the table. And I think that's some of the things that we wouldn't even normally think of to have conversations about, that might be real simple. That, I mean, might not be even anything extraordinary. It's just not in something that we would typically think about doing.
You want to hear some of the things that's on now?
No, because then no, people can take that damn assessment. You know, but I think here's the thing. I think there's a level of importance when you enter into a relationship. And in my opinion, I think just as much as you choose to go to premarital counseling, I think you should go to, you know, to see a sexual counselor before you are married. This way that you can open up conversations to be had through the life of your marriage. In my opinion, I think it can only enrich the process of what you have, and it might turn up and turn out your damn honeymoon night. It's like, okay, our honeymoon night, this is what we're getting ready to try. But I think some of us, maybe not me necessarily, but I'm sure I haven't done everything. But I'm saying, but I think there's a lot of people who have grown up sheltered, who was not able to have conversations on sex, about sex, and anything that they learned about sex was through TV, book, maybe even porn. And it might have intimidated them. They might be scared to try it, might be scared to have those conversations with their partner. But something as simple as, for some people might be even with watching porn with their partner. One of their partners might enjoy it, but be scared to have the conversation with their other partner to watch it with them. So these are conversations that could be very well addressed if you go to sex therapy at the same time that you are going to marriage counseling. And I'm sure somebody will say, well, we covered that in marriage counseling. It's a different level. Marriage counseling.
Go to a sex therapist for your premarital counseling. We do all of it.
Oh, yeah, true that, very true. But I think there's something to be said about having those conversations early on instead of being disappointed after. Because you go in thinking after I am married, I'm going to share my life and who I really am because now I'm married. Share it beforehand. Get all of these emotions and feelings and conversations that are out. First of all, anybody who knows me know that I am a mental health advocate. So I advocate for a whole lot of different things, and I see things through a different lens. So this is one thing that Cortina and I talk about all the time. That's why I'm excited about this assessment because one, it will enrich relationships. And that's the goal of therapy is you're enriching yourself. And when you go to couples counseling, you're enriching your relationship and just looking at it from a more holistic standpoint, from an unbiased and unjudged place. That's what you should be doing anyway. If you're going to be casting judgment over somebody who says something right after you leave therapy, don't even bother going. Therapy should be a free forum to have those very open and honest discussions. So that way there's a neutral party that knows how to work through those things with you. That's
and
what
when you go to therapy, you have to have an agreement with your partner, because if you want them to continue to be honest with you, you cannot get crazy and jump down their throat when they're being honest with you about their feelings, about what their wants, needs, and desires are. Because if I'm sharing with you something that I desire, that doesn't necessarily mean if I don't get it, I'm going to go somewhere else. This is just me sharing with you, right? Because somebody might like, might not like pork chop. Let's take my fiance, for example. He doesn't eat pork. He don't eat beef. He don't eat none of that. I can't remember the last time I had a pork chop. That doesn't mean I don't eat it, but I don't eat it as much but that don't mean I'm be like, I can't talk to you no more because you don't eat pork chops. No, you just alter it. And so if someone says they like a particular sex act, you have to come to a compromise where it might be like, okay, I don't have to do this, although it's something I enjoy. I understand you don't necessarily like it or enjoy it, but what else can we do, right? Since I can't have this. And then I don't have to yuck your yum, right? I don't have to say something is disgusting or nasty just because I wouldn't necessarily do it. So that's what we call, like in the kink world, like yucking someone's yum. Someone may like that and you might not like it, but you don't have to say, yeah, that's nasty. Oh my God. Like, because you don't know the people around you who are not really speaking. And if they are actually into that, you might just be like pushing them back in the thing because it's like, oh Lord, I was into that too, but not the way that they act, and they made me not even like, now I'm feeling a sense of shame around it. So you got to be very careful about the different types of sex acts. And you can say, oh, okay, yeah, I'm not into it, right? That's me saying I'm not into it, but I'm not like, oh my God, like that is so nasty and disgusting. I'm saying the same thing, but in a totally different way.
Yeah.
You don't have to be into something. And so making sure, again, you're not demonizing, you're not casting additional shame, you're not being judgy in your conversation, because when you take those elements out, the judgy, the shame, and all of those things, then guess what? You open up a safe space to hold space for your partner and for them to continue sharing. And that is connectedness. If I know I can say the deepest, dirtiest, darkest thing that I am into, and my partner is not casting judgment, but they might not be into it, but they are still supportive, doesn't mean we're going to add it to our relationship. They're going to be more open to me. They're going to be willing to share more with me. And that's what's important about a relationship. Do we have openness? Do we have honesty? Do we have communication? Do we have that shared understanding that it is okay for you to share what you are into, right? I know couples that they've been married, and then out of the blue, one of the partners is like, hey, you know what? I think I'm poly. And the other one is like, oh, hell no, I can't do this. Like, we can't do this. But sometimes there are some other things that are under that. Maybe they weren't feeling fully loved, which causes them to think that, okay, I feel like I'm not getting the love that I need. Maybe I need love from this person. Maybe I need love from this person. Maybe I need to explore this person or try this person. Maybe I need more loving type of connections intimately to make me get this. But sometimes, yeah, they really are. And then sometimes it might be, okay, that's just what I thought because of the misinformation maybe of what I was reading into it. When we just do our work, it's almost like, oh damn, maybe I'm not. Maybe I just felt that way because there was a void someplace that I felt like I needed filled, you know. And so that's the importance of really having those conversations. But more often than not, people are not having those deep conversations because life is on autopilot. We get up, we go to work, we come back home, we do this, and then we look up, it's 6 months later, and we like, damn, I don't know the last time we really had like a real table coffee conversation. We haven't, because it's life as usual. Life is normal, right? We don't take the time to go on, you know, to spend that real time together. That's why I tell people when they have kids, that's when troubles happen a lot of times in marriages and relationships when people have kids. Why? Because the focus is not on each other. It now goes to the child. When the focus now goes to the child, we forget about each other. And then we grow apart. We figure out, well, damn, I don't even know who I'm sleeping next to. Like, am I sleeping with the enemy? I don't even know this person no more. You can't stop dating. You can't stop making that connection, because when you are in the deficit in your relationship, the only thing you have in your reserves are the time we share, the bonding, the connection, the friendship, all of those things that's going to be able to keep that relationship afloat when it hits tough times. So don't not do the connecting. Sometimes you got to be like, you know, the mean what they say, fuck them kids. So you got to put the kids over there. You got to make sure that you focusing on each other, because if they come from a broken home, okay, then what? If y'all get a divorce, because now y'all don't have any commonalities and everything. So you have to stay connected to your partner, or it's not going to last. Y'all may still be together, but there might not be no love or no passion or no intimacy within that relationship. So if we're looking at the relational triangle, is there passion? Is there communication? Is there intimacy, right, within that relationship? Sometimes it's only two of those elements. Sometimes it's only one of those elements. We want to have three of those elements within the relationship.
Yeah. So I'm going to segue briefly because we have just a few more minutes. I want to just share a couple of things. This is the power of the Noir Center, which Cortina recently opened up. You get to hear from the mouth of a therapist yourself on this is a small piece of who she is and what she's passionate about. And I was at a company today, which I'm very, very proud of, you know, two different companies. At my event, I connected with a company called BeamPath, and they provided virtual reality, the Oculuses for children at my event. And they connected me with their partner. She's actually one of the co-founders of Kit Labs, which is here in Atlanta. And when I went there, the tech guy, first of all, it is all Black co-founders. Okay. And they have a shared space, and the space is absolutely amazing. And we had a conversation about circulating the Black dollar. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm saying this because Cortina just launched and opened up her own Noir Center for mental health catering. It's not just made for Black people, it's catering to African Americans, being able to go into a place for therapy to get everything that they need to heal themselves. And not even necessarily, not everybody who goes to therapy needs healing. Sometimes you just need that outlet, but everything is made in African accents. So you feel like when you're walking in, it's made for you because she made it for you. So that's the power of where we're moving to when it comes to Black businesses. So we need to, as a Black community, look at how we are spending our money. What are we doing with our money? And start really devaluing and underrepresenting the power of Black businesses. Because you just sat right here and you saw the strength of a woman who's going to be doctor soon, Cortina Peters, very soon. And so the problem that I often have, and then we also have Nico Too Good, who is a Black business owner, and Louisa, who's a Black business owner and doing things. If we don't believe in our own people and we constantly go outside, or when we do utilize Black businesses that we feel like we have to have discounts, we have, it's always something. But yet you would go right out to Louis Vuitton, and Louis Vuitton, last I know, they've never had a motherfucking sale. Excuse my language. Never had a sale. Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Hermes. You the designer.
I'm sorry?
You're the designer whore. Is there ever a sale?
Yeah.
When?
So it depends on the brand.
Okay, well, you done said it right now. Gucci, I'm saying Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Hermes. When do they ever have a sale? Do they have a sale?
No, they do
Okay,
not.
so that's
they have
what I'm saying.
outlets.
But what I'm saying is that quality in business should speak for itself. And if we can circulate the black dollar, like we circulate our black dollars to these white businesses, we would be so much further along. Outside of, even buying crabs. I mean, what you spend your money on. I'm from DC. Everybody going to spend their money on crabs. This is the crab season right here coming up. But I think that we lose and not understand how to circulate the black dollar in order to build ourselves. There's a lot of credible people out here. And when I went into this skill path, it was like they had a whole tech. It's a whole tech company, black tech full of nothing but black co-founders. When I say I was just absolutely in awe at the level of service, just everything that they offer, the education that they offer, we need to be more cognizant about how we are not even necessarily spending money, how we are representing other black companies out here. You can support without spending a damn dime, not a damn dime.
Can I speak on that?
Oh, go ahead.
Let me tell you something. For those who know, Katrina, you've been a part, the Black Authors Matter Tour is all about community building. And support is even just hitting share and writing, not just hitting share, but writing, follow this, see this, know this, this is happening. Exposure, expansion, expounding, all these opportunities that you can add to by literally lifting your finger. The book tour, yes, we charge a fee and things like that, but support looks like referral. Support looks like, hey, I know this person who needs Black books in their libraries, in the airports, and being that. And it's weird sometimes in the space that I'm in because literally I meet authors who say, this is the problem, I need marketing. And when you solve it and they still don't move, it's a personal thing. It's not just your book. It's not just that moment, but understanding that the support and the systems are here to help you, even with the Noir Center, what that support looks like.
Yeah.
Referring someone, being strong enough in yourself to say, you need to talk to someone. Here is someone that I trust because of what they've done in the world, and I refer you to them. Support is so simple. It's almost cheaper than hello.
It really, that is very, very true. And so as a Black business owner myself, I already, know that people have an expectation that come to me, and I deal with a majority of my clients are Black owned. And what I do love about my clients is they pay me what I'm worth. I'm the shit.
You are.
I'm good at what I do. And so, but I'm an advocate and very much so a supporter of how I spend my money. And the Kit Lab that's here, they are everything that I believe in. So when I was looking for my venue, they came to me and said, hey, I would love for you to utilize our space in Atlanta from Jackson. I was like, you know what? That was the very first place that I went to. I had a conversation with them and it worked out. Because and last year when I held it in Atlanta, guess what? The owner was a Black venue, LB. Black venue. So I'm very cognizant if I can go into a space and it works out, that's always my goal, because here again, my books cater to the Black community, Black children. It's not that it's not diverse, but it is mostly speaking. Well, I mean, mostly it speaks to Black children.
And even when you go out and if you're looking for venues and you decide to go to a venue that is white owner operated or that particular thing, but they have a mission and a focus that is clearly concrete on supporting Black businesses, that's still supporting.
Yeah.
And with the Black Authors Matter Tour, I tell you, we like Black authors and Black supporting authors. I don't mind white people or YT people being on my tour at all. Just really be down for the culture. Be down. Marriott has proven to me they are down for the cause. They have given authors free rooms under my book tour who couldn't afford it. That's what I mean by support and being really nuanced in that. And you won't know support until you support yourself.
And invest in yourself. That I think that's the other part that some Black businesses have a hard time. If you can't get off the ground, you have to look at what you are doing in order to level yourself up. I know, sometimes you have to pay it out before you can reap the benefits afterwards. And I know that's hard for people to ingest, but that's just a harsh reality that comes with being a business owner. We would all just love to just hop out here and make hundreds and thousands and millions of dollars. But even those people who make hundreds and thousands of millions of dollars, if you go and you really ask them, how much do you have to invest in yourself? It's going to be money, unless they're lying. I'm just being honest. So I think that how we circulate our own dollars in our own community is going to help each one of us business owners grow. And nobody goes into business to fail.
No.
But support can be free. And support can, just be something simple. The main thing that you should be doing is supporting. Look for them. If you know that you have a friend that's in business and you haven't seen a post for them for a while, filter their name and go down their list and share what you can, because that's going to be vital to their own business growth. Last but not least, I think our hearts and all of us go out to the situation that happened in Buffalo. Very tragic. I think one of the things that I'm kind of fucking sick of is every time I turn around, they're trying to throw some mental health shit up in there. I'm sick of it. I'm really over it. That's just an easy scapegoat, because if that was a Black man, he
would have been under the jail.
He would have been dead.
He would have been dead. He would have been dead. So, the equity and equality in our political and judicial system is still failing us. And yes, I said it, I'm going to always say it, because those are things that I stand by when I still don't see it. So, Cortina, I know you had some feelings about that. But we have about 4 minutes left. I know, Louisa, you have to run because you have to go around the corner.
No, no, we're not going around the corner today. I'm here. I'm just really enjoying this conversation, which is why I've been so quiet.
Okay.
But no, I'm here.
Okay. I was like, I gotta throw you around throw your ass off the curb and put you around the corner.
Wow. That's how she really feels.
Don't throw me out the car, okay?
No, so Cortina, I know you had some feelings when it came to the Buffalo situation. So I'd love to hear what you have to say about that. And then Louisa, you as well. And then Nico, if you want to chime in at all.
It's almost like being Black in America, and we said this before, is extremely exhausting, right? And how do the child that America is trying to protect, right, from critical race theory, which is just regular American history, right? So we're trying to protect one child, but the child we try to protect, we can't protect the other child, the Black child, from the hateful things that this child, due to lack of intellect and knowledge and education, now they inflict the pain onto this Black child that the system was trying to protect the white child from trying to experience. And I just think we have a totally messed up, let me say, the government has a totally messed up way of dealing with things that happen like this. When have you seen a Black person specifically go into and target a white neighborhood and murder multiple people because of hate, right? And so the only way we can eradicate and heal and move forward as it relates to this is through education.
Yeah.
The same thing is going to continue to happen, and history is going to continue to repeat itself, and Black and brown people are going to continue to be fearful and afraid and like, damn, I can't go to the grocery store to buy my 3-year-old a birthday cake. I can't run to the store because I'm visiting because my brother just had a bone marrow transplant. I just can't leave my husband who is in a nursing home to go pick up some things from the supermarket. These are all real life situations,
Yeah.
and they became victims in this Buffalo shooting. And I think it's just exhausting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cortina, really quick. Did you see the video of the little white kid beating on that door with a whip to beat? But here's why I said
I
that.
saw that video.
Did you see the daddy?
Yeah, so I have to show it to you. So let me
Did
explain.
you see the daddy?
So let me. Yeah, I saw the daddy because the daddy pulled the gun out when the parents.
Yes, and he was arrested.
So here's my parallel to this situation in Buffalo, because they're trying to make sure mental health and all this other shit is going on.
It ain't.
That white boy who was banging on that door with a whip,
cracking
making
it.
threats. Yeah, making threats. And I'm sure when he grew up, because the daddy pulled the gun out when the parents went and approached him, you talk about raising hate, then you got a motherfucker that's out here shooting. What's the difference?
But you got a government that condones it, because you have Carson Tucker, who is on TV talking about and spreading and spewing all of this hate. They had a statistic where they showed like 55% of the violence that happens in America comes from the right wing. They themselves breed and perpetuate hate. It's almost like I'm throwing a rock and hide my hand. So I'm throwing a rock to catch all of the nationalists and all of the white supremacists and all of those people, get them all riled up. They go out and do something. Oh, now they quiet like church mice. Yeah. So you're doing all this, and you are the government. You are continuing to breed this hate in the very fiber of America. And so how can the other citizens that are here feel safe? We can't. Why? Because they have the skin for protection, right?
The privilege.
Yeah.
The skin privilege.
Because now for him, he ain't even in general population. They have him away from general population. How is that fair? You got privilege even in jail. This man walked out without a scratch, without a punctured eye, with nothing on him, and he just murdered all of these people, and they peacefully walked him out in handcuffs. How the hell? How do you research the most populated neighborhood that is predominantly Black? He researched to find the closest one to him, and that was it. It wasn't a fluke. And his mama, his auntie, his daddy, his auntie talking about something. Oh, it's because of COVID. Well, if that's the case, all of us got guns out here shooting people.
Yeah.
So
I was getting ready to say something about that.
It's absolutely ridiculous. COVID? Oh, because he was locked up and he didn't know how to handle it. I'm sorry. Mental illness don't have you target a particular demographic of people. If you were really mentally, it don't matter who it is. I'm going to shoot everybody at the gas station, white, black, orange, purple. It don't matter, because that is just what I have going on. But when you have hate in your heart, that has nothing to do with mental illness.
And it's thought out. It's premeditated. You thought about this. You planned this.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You wrote 100
You're not too quickly
page manifesto.
You're not mentally.
You say he wrote 150-page manifesto.
150-page manifesto.
Ooh.
He wrote before he did it. He talked about, if I go to jail, it was like a sentence he had in there where he was basically saying, well, if I went to jail and I stayed in jail, well, I guess that's what I have to do. But if somehow what I did, the right people get empowered and my conviction is overturned, then we have won. Who the hell is we? If we all Americans, ain't we all on one team? No, but you fighting because you got this fear mongering in your mind, perpetuated by these people on TV, Fox News, that's saying all of these different things. That's adding fuel to the fire. Like, oh, they're going to come take all our jobs. They're going to, outpopulate us. Our race is going to be extinct. And all of these crazy ideations that get planted in their mind. And these are homegrown terrorists. These are terroristic, racist acts that are happening, and nobody is condemning them. Who the hell condemning this? Now, if it was a Muslim, guess what? Oh, everybody be up in arms.
Yeah. But America, and even the Constitution, wasn't written to protect us.
Absolutely not.
It absolutely was not, because when we got the right to vote, it was limited.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? You're telling me I'm now an American citizen and I have a
Free.
right to vote. Well,
quote unquote free.
I don't ever use the word free because that shit ain't happening ever. No, but you give us supposed to be equality to vote, but you limit our time on it.
Well, we have to do a test. You have to take a literacy test. If your granddaddy did not vote, then that took your ability away to be able to vote. Well, if you just passed it, how the hell could my granddaddy could have been able to vote? So you have like all these hoops and hurdles that you had to jump through to even be able to vote. It's just ridiculous.
And possible death.
Exactly.
Literacy test.
Here's the thing that I always talk about when I look at historical literacy. When we had all of our ancestors brought here, and it's not that we had to learn how to read and write, because we knew that. You talking about motherfucking engineers, doctors, queens, kings. We knew what we were doing, but they put us they brought us here in another language, having to learn another language. So yes, we to them we seem illiterate because we did not know English. But as soon as we grasped it, oh yeah, you got traffic lights, you got you got everything. Because
but even outside of that, yeah, we came here and then
we learned the language.
You would get beaten if they caught you with a book. If they knew you knew how to read, you were tormented, right? So I had to try to read in code and in secret. And so if that is the fiber that is in, and sometimes people are like, well, why is there such a literacy gap? Okay, you still got to look at historical. It's just like the wealth gap. Okay, if we already started behind the 8-ball, how the hell, if I have fear inside of me, look at the voting gap. The disproportionate numbers of blacks voting as opposed to their white counterparts, right? If I knew that I was going to be beaten, I was going to be killed, and I had no protection from anybody, because the people who were traumatizing me, they were the judges, they were the jury, they were the policemen. So I ain't have any protection. You think I'm going to go risk my life to go vote? There were some people who did, a lot of people that did, but there, for the majority, especially in that whole Mississippi, Alabama, North Carolina, like corridor of America.
All that deep south.
That's why the voting gap is so significant in those parts, because, well, if voting wasn't as important, because I'd rather live than to vote, my grandchildren saw that. Their children saw that. Their children's children saw that. And so that's how you now show up to where we are. And some people are like, oh, black people just don't care. Excuse me, let's go knock on History 101. No, we were one when we were allowed to. You hung us and you beat us and you tormented us and you let the dogs out on us, and we had to do all of these different things. And it's just like, is it worth it? Hell no, they're gonna do what they want to do in this country. Okay, go ahead. Now, I do believe in voting, right? But for some people who say, well, black people just don't vote, you just can't put that blanket statement out there, because if I'm voting and I feel like, one, now nothing is going to change. Well, hell, it don't matter which way you vote. God damn it. It seemed like shit still going to be horrible and messed up. So I guess you just got to go with the lesser of two evils. It's still very discouraging to say that, okay, is my voice going to matter when we still having tragedies like this continue to happen? And it seems like we going backwards, because I don't know. Yeah, we did talk about it. We talked about it last week with the whole Roe versus Wade, repealing that, and it's just like, what the heck? Like, I feel like I'm in the freaking twilight zone. Like, is there another planet that we can go jump on? Because this one is all kinds of messed up, because I'm just trying to figure out, like,
different planet. Okay.
But no,
not another continent,
It's true. And then we raise a level of new black kids that are very radical in their thinking, and that's a good thing. They are the new genre of abolitionists, and they're breaking down walls in their own right and in their own manner. But no matter how many walls we break down, if we're not breaking the four main ones that have enclosed us in, then we're not really making progress. We're honestly going a circle within the square.
Correct. And so while we are talking about voting, and we'll bring our podcast to a close and start our ending stuff, this year is a pivotal time for voting.
Oh, yes.
Ass out there and vote on November, because see, everybody has the misconception that the presidential, election means everything. It really is not.
Oh no.
Government. Find out who your mayors, your governors, when their time is up, vote. Your city councilmen. Those are people, because it trickles up. How the money that you get in your community, there's a trickle effect, and then Congress, that's the power of the purse. And if everybody knows, it takes money. So when everybody thinks that the president has all of this money and power over money, he absolutely does not. You're talking about 14 years in the government and government budget and finance, going to the Hill to fight Congress to keep our budgets in every agency that I was at. So it just lets you know that the power of the purse sits their ass at the Hill. Get their asses out. These are the same people who are Roe versus Wade. These are the same people who can remove and put things and add things into the Constitution that will better things for Black people or for people of color or minorities or immigrants or anyone else that comes over here thinking that this is the American dream when it's actually the American nightmare. So this is a pivotal year. This is a pivotal year.
Those that come here understanding that because it's better than where you come from does not mean it's best.
Yes, that's correct. So this is a pivotal year. So yeah, I would say definitely by September, start looking at who are going to be on that ballot, and you vote. You vote because your life matters on it, especially in your community. This is the most vital thing ever, because I know some of you all just show up to the poll and don't know shit about all the other people, but you know who the president and the vice president is. This is not their year, but this is a pivotal year, because this is the year that's going to count for getting people in and getting people out on the Hill.
Yeah.
So that's probably one of the most important things that I can say to everybody. Just definitely go and vote. Cortina, how can people catch up with you, find out what you're doing, the WAR Center? Go ahead and shout yourself out.
Yeah, you can follow me on all social media platforms at The Girlfriend Therapist. And you can also follow the Noir Center at the Noir Center on Facebook and Instagram, and that's NOIR. So THENOIR Center, CENTER.
All right. And you, Louisa?
You can fine. You can find me at the Blue Phoenix Hills everywhere. Usually I do go around the corner, as Pam was trying to kick me out, but I didn't have to go around the corner to both sides of the coin on Wednesday nights at 8:00, and on Thursday, which is tomorrow, I'm at the No Filter Show at 8:30.
You know what? I need to come to the No Filter Show, but tomorrow wouldn't be good anyway, because I'm doing the award show. God bless you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and this is your girl, Dr. G. You can find me on all social media platforms at I am Dr. P. Gurley, IAMDRPGURLEY. Nico, where can people find out, catch up with you?
Follow me at the Black Authors Matter Tour. Again, that's the Black Authors Matter Tour. Amazing things happening there. And then just follow me at Nico Tuga on all social media platforms, and some of the kinky ones too.
You said, okay. You know what? I can't.
I know that's right.
I cannot. And for the Herspiration brand, if you would like to be on the show, you can always hit us up at www.dawentertainment.com/podcast. You can even catch up, and if you want to know where we are at, all the information on the podcast is there. If you want to be on the podcast, you can register right there as well. We will be on hiatus through the month of June and July, so we will just be doing reruns of the best of the Herspiration Happy Hour podcast. Yeah, I know. We're on with this is a break. Every week is a lot. I tell you, every week is a lot. If you like the show and you like the conversation, don't forget to hit us up on our tip jar at www.buymeacoffee.com/HerspirationHH. Come and follow us next week. As of right now, it's going to be us ladies just having some conversation. And this is the stuff that I actually miss. I really do miss us being able to have these conversations. Oh my God, Takenya, I hope you got to see the beginning where I shouted you out for that amazing read of yours at the event, girl, hands down. your ass is bomb. So just know that you was you was one of the WCWs for me and I spoke highly about how you read at the kids red carpet event. And if anybody is smart, they're going to find you and come out and see you read. So she just popped in here. So I had to let her know that, she did an absolute amazing job out there, and I'm super proud. And I'm telling you, we talk about Black girl magic out there. Wow. I need you to come and be on another tour, because girl, the way that your reading was with all of the props and all of that other stuff really fed life into my spirit. So I love it.
It was a joy for me to experience and watch you.
Exactly. So you're hearing it straight from two people who were there. Next week, we will be back, same time, same place, for more cocktails and conversation.
Yeah.
I know. And so everybody have an amazing rest of your week. Have a really great weekend. If you're going to be in Atlanta, save the date, July 9th. I have the Kids Red Carpet book signing tour that's going to be out there. You're definitely going to want to come out.
Where?
July 9th in Atlanta.
I thought
we already had a conversation.
No, I thought you said it was in Houston.
Girl, Houston is August.
God damn it.
I know, girl. I done had this conversation.
No, I thought you were telling me. I thought you were telling me that you would be in Houston. I didn't know what city. July 9th. So I was saying, oh yeah, I thought it was in August. And then you said Houston. I'm thinking that you're talking about Houston July 9th and Atlanta in August.
No. But we I know it's going to be all right. But like every week, how we end our podcast. Enjoy the rest of the week. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll see you next Wednesday right back here on Herspiration Happy Hour. Cheers.